Sit back, relax a little bit. Let me tell you a story. See if yours is anything like mine. Remember when I was a kid? So much better when I popped the lid. Feel the rabble, open it up.
Exactly, listen to Seany. Right, and Cash App's the easy way to get money transferred when you're out with friends. So, pick up into that and then we'll get back to it.
He said, baby, jump in the back, boy. Tailgate crazy.
Tailgate crazy, guys.
That
Welcome
guy's
back.
a good band. You gotta listen to more of his music. He's solid.
Yeah, Dennis Cockerham, right?
And the
Cockerman?
Trailer Park Band.
And the Trailer Park Band or Trailer Park Boys? Let me pull it up. Dang,
I think it's
don't wanna get
band.
on. I'll get it pulled up. But hey, he'll probably be on, so shout out to him.
He
But,
did ask
yeah.
for a while ago. He said if we ever did, he would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Dennis Cockerham and a Trailer Park Band. You can find him on Facebook, and you can find him on Shady Sports Network. He does a couple shows. He does tailgating shows. Apparently around the country, from what it seems. So, shout out
I'd
to
be
him.
keeping an eye for him if he comes in the area.
What'd you say?
I said I'm keeping an eye on him if he comes in the area.
There we go. So, yeah, guys, welcome back. Another episode of Shady Sports Fantasy Football Reports. Tuesday night edition. You know how we get down. You know how we do. I'm your bus driver, Cedric Green, and then we got our co-pilots. We actually got another co-pilot. So we
added a bus stop on the bus.
We were at a stop, and we got a guy who's like, "Yo, I want to stay here and talk sports." So we're happy to have Grayson on. Grayson, welcome back for another episode. You're on Sunday, and then Justin, as always, welcome on, my man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You know how we do. If Seany comes on, he will be up in here dropping knowledge like usual. So, guys, welcome back for another episode of Shady Sports Fantasy Football Reports. I was looking, I don't know, I think this is actually episode 27 if you did it technically, but I think according to the season, it's like episode 21. So I don't even know what episode it is. I just know it's season 3, guys. We're back.
Yep.
We're bringing it to you. And, if you've been following us from the beginning, it was me and Seany, and we're keeping it going. But here on Shady Sports Network, we always welcome you guys in, and the goal of this show is to have fan engagement. So let's talk teams, let's talk turkey. This week, we'll be talking who should you start, who should you sit. We have Justin's team of the week and IDP player of the week. I think Grayson's actually gonna have a segment too with his booms and busts. So we'll talk on that. And then, if you're following fantasy football, you just know we had, it was such a crazy day aside from off-season moves, right? I think it's the craziest single day I've seen, at least this season.
It almost felt like it was the trade deadline, but
it did. I was thinking, is it the trade deadline?
No, we got until the first week of November.
Oh, man. But it's crazy because honestly, I know, Justin, me and you, we've been talking about, I feel like, not to toot my horn, but I feel like here I have said a couple times, and it's obvious, right? He wanted to go to the Jets, Davante Adams, right?
Yeah.
So, we got Davante Adams going to the Jets. What was that trade for? Should have had my notes pulled up on it.
Talk about third and a seventh.
A third and a seventh, and they're paying his full contract. And they're playing.
Chiefs couldn't offer that,
huh?
It seems a little bit weird to me that maybe the price was higher for teams like the Chiefs, but a third and a seventh.
The Broncos couldn't do that.
Stupid
moves they've been doing.
Yeah.
But I think it was something more so he wanted to get out of there.
Yeah.
The Jets wanted to make it happen, and it was easy to get it done. I don't think it was really a hard ball like anybody else. What are you trying to give us? Move. Yeah. It was let's get it done over with now. While we still have some season left,
It's best for both sides because the Raiders keep their locker room somewhat intact. So
yeah. Nothing was
you
really
hold them there.
Off.
It becomes a bad situation.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Grayson? I know you had some moves made. Well, we'll talk Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
What do you think about this Davante Adams move?
I think it was a good move. I think he didn't want to play. Therefore, when he's on the field, that's going to reflect. And so obviously it has some impact, in my opinion, on Garrett Wilson's fantasy.
That's what I was gonna say. So if you're Garrett Wilson, do you look up to Devontae Adams as a leader and do what he does and request a trade yourself to somewhere like the Broncos? I'm just saying, come to the Broncos, Garrett Wilson. But no, like, do you request a trade or do you just do you stay there and play 1A? Because it's not 1 and 2, right? He's proven he's a 1. What's going on over there? I mean,
my opinion, I mean, I think from what I've seen with Garrett Wilson, he's not too big of a crybaby. I think he's gonna fight to get that. Obviously, Adams is phenomenal, and I can't say that enough. But I think he's gonna stay and he's gonna fight to show he's worth it and that he is a wide receiver 1 for that team, in my opinion.
It's a lot of money for wide receivers, especially if he does hang around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But, I mean-
I kind of have my finger on the pulse for the Jets because I've been following. I have a lot of Jets shares, and I just been keeping real into that situation. The way I see it now is the Devontae is going to have his 8 to 10 targets, and he's going to be the big playability receiver that we've seen the connection with Rodgers in the past. Like, we know the ceiling of those two guys. We know what we can get, and we have gotten out of them. So that should be about, the standard expectation going in. And then Wilson's going to clean everything up when that first read, when Devontae's getting doubled or he's just not open. Those short intermediate routes, those routes close to the line of scrimmage, I think Conklin kind of fades away now into the offense. Garrett Wilson's going to take that middle of the field role.
He faded last night.
Yeah, he did. And I think this means, from what I heard too, is Mike Williams demanded a trade, so he's looking to seek to go elsewhere. So he's on the way out. And I think Lazard, with his other familiar target, tends to play. It'll be Lazard and Adams on the ends, and then Garrett Wilson in the middle. So they'll play the sidelines and downfield to be the big playability, big play receivers. And then you'll see Garrett Wilson with passes behind the line of scrimmage or close to it, getting the short targets, close intermediate targets for Rodgers to check down to. I think this hurts the most out of this offense is Brees. I mean, until they decide they're committed, they want to run the ball, it sounds like Aaron Rodgers is running this show. Like, as many as people want to smoke screen it or whatever, I think he's orchestrating this offense. He's just constructing this playbook the way he wants it done, and he's going to be throwing the ball. So I think the biggest loser of this trade is Breece Hall and that running game for the Jets, and it's wheels up for. I still would keep Lazard in my flex as my third wide receiver, or even like a bench option, because he's been doing good these last few weeks up to this point with Garrett Wilson in the lineup still. And obviously, if you held on to Devontae Adams and you didn't trade him away or just undersold him, like, maybe now, if you want to swing him that he's in a new situation, maybe you can tier up and upgrade up somewhere if you don't, if you want to take advantage of that. Otherwise, I think he's going to be in a good spot, or even better than he was with the Raiders.
Oh, yeah. Much better than he was with the Raiders, right?
Yeah. Because I think he'll be interested. Not to say he wasn't motivated or interested in back with the Raiders. He just didn't have the quarterback play, and he didn't have I don't know. There's more of conflict in that locker room and behind the scenes that we probably know. So that affected his interest in being on the field.
Yeah. So you guys think it was a win for both teams then? Well, I mean, obviously.
Yeah. For the Raiders and as an organization, it was a win. Not necessarily the team, because you obviously lose your star number one wide receiver. And then for the Jets, you're obviously adding firepower. They didn't give up too much for him. And he's at 32 now. You probably got a couple of years left tops out of him. We'll see how he stays healthy and how he performs.
Yeah, but what does he want to do once Aaron Rodgers leaves? I mean, Aaron Rodgers isn't playing past this season, right? What is Devontae?
He's clearly, he'll do whatever he wants to do when he wants to do it, how he wants to do it. So if he plays, he plays. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But again, like with the situation before this, when Rodgers left Green Bay, Devontae found a way out, did his own thing, and he kept playing. So I don't think if Rodgers leaves, that affects Devontae playing.
Okay, cool. Well, and then there was another trade, big, maybe not so big, but we got
It's
Amari
big.
Cooper. Yeah, it helps
Because
out the
now,
Bills
if you thought the
immensely.
Cleveland offense was bad, it's
And
going to be historically bad.
oof, what are
Hey,
they trying
Jerry
to do?
Judy, wide receiver 1.
Are they trying to get a Shador or what?
If I'm Shador, I'm requesting a no. I'm not going there. He's pulling a
Oh,
Eli
Deion's not gonna
Manning.
let
I
him
ain't
go
going there.
Deion's not gonna let him go there. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that much.
exactly. Like, nah, like, no. Like, this is obviously, it sucks for Cleveland and the fans in that offense, but this is the best case scenario for Amari Cooper. Like, he's going to Josh Allen. Like,
for a 6th-round pick, wasn't it?
That's perfect. That's chef's
Broncos
kiss. You
couldn't
didn't
do
give up
that?
a whole lot. Because I can't name
Stupid.
any 6th-round wide receivers that have played up to the caliber of Amari Cooper in the last few years. Like, if you're giving up a 6th-round pick for Amari Cooper, he's proven to do what he does in Oakland, in Dallas, and in Cleveland when they had a competent quarterback. Like, Josh Allen has now.
Drafted?
I think he was the
I can look
4th or 5th.
I can look it up.
I don't think he was that late.
I think this is a great move.
Yeah, you're all over it.
Yes, fantasy wise, I love it. I think Amari Cooper, if you're in a league with people who are not as up to date, I would start trying to get him on trades for
Just
sure.
taking that money and running to the door, like take
absolutely.
whatever you want.
I did it today in one of my leagues. The guy probably assumed I was psychotic. He took the trade, and I couldn't be happier. Because I knew I was in a league with people who I got the notification 2 seconds after everything happened, and I read all about it, and so I was super happy. Obviously, as someone who has Amari Cooper in every league now, I'm very happy. But apart from the fantasy aspect, I think this is huge for Buffalo. Even the commentators last night said the Bills would be in a much better place if they had a receiving weapon, and they just don't. As much as like they got rid of Diggs, and I think this is a good replacement. I believe I've had a long day, but I believe what I read, this is only for this season. I think they got to figure out if they retain him again next year, which I think would be important. But I think this is huge for the Bills and obviously the Browns. They're going to get a 1st-round pick this year, the first pick this year, and that's it. They're washed. They're done this year. They're so terrible.
They had their run, man. Look at Baker killing it.
Yeah, they're losing that locker room so fast. It is torpedoing. Like, I don't who's going to be the scapegoat, though. It's going to be Stefanski because the ownership's not going to take accountability for all that's going down.
No, once again, like I said last show, get him out.
Yep. It's true. Yeah, I agree. All they have to do is start Jameis, but their pride and ego is just way too more important to them.
As soon as you said it,
yeah,
it comes up. 100%. All the Browns have to do is start Jameis. They're not going to, because according to them, Deshaun gives them the best chance to win, right? Isn't that what they just came out?
That's according to Stefanski.
He has to say that, though.
Ownership group telling Stefanski, believe like this is your guy, this is who you're playing, and he's just playing the puppet role of like, yep, this is our guy. This is
but see, I feel like Deshaun never wanted to go there in the first place. Like, it's just, of course, like, you offer me that amount of money, I'm gonna go play for you.
I don't think many people are like, where I want to go.
Yeah,
Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to go there in the first place, but of course he's gonna take the money. You're gonna go play. If you're looking for the most money, you're gonna go where the most money is. And exactly, maybe he wanted to open up a line of massage parlors, and then he was like, You know where I don't want to open up massage parlors? Cleveland.
Yeah. Maybe if he goes back to getting massages, he'll come back and he'll be the Deshaun that we know.
If you could do it all over again and go back, do you think if he had the choice between the Raiders or the Browns, which one is he going to choose?
Oh man, gosh, that's like saying never mind.
Because they were both shopping for quarterbacks at the time. They got rid of Carr.
Yeah, probably the Raiders, just because they've had offensive-minded head coaches.
Sorry, I got the chat slide. This is great.
Hey, Neil, thanks for watching. Neil,
you're awesome, dude. You're a legend.
You're a legend. Thanks for watching over there on Twitch. Hey guys, catch us every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and every Sunday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We come back and we go over all these things we're talking about tonight. So yeah, right now we're talking about Amari Cooper. I was planning to play Amari Cooper either way in my dynasty.
He's definitely a trade for target. I don't think you're going to get him now. It would take a lot more than yesterday what you would have put an offer out for him. So those people who have him, I'd be happy, and people who sold them, I'd be a little bit upset, a lot upset if I sold them too early. So we should see what I think for the Buffalo offense. I think Shakir and Samuel and Hollins, they all take a step back. Not sure if this affects Kincaid and Knox that much. I mean, they kind of were mediocre up to this point this season for targets and whatnot. So this just gives Josh Allen his first read, because to be honest, I don't think he had a first read in this offense before the season started. Now he's got
something. That's why Keon Coleman was getting goose eggs.
Well, the Bills tried something out to start the year and it didn't work, and now this is a move that they're making because they feel they need somebody.
Neil wants to know, would Olave and Bucky be a good offer for Cooper at this point? Because he sent that deal out for Adams and Cup today. He sent the deal out of Adams and Cup today.
I like that trade.
Olave and Bucky Irvin?
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, on either side, if someone sent me that trade, I would actually.
You did Amari Cooper for Olave and Bucky Irvin?
I like that trade. I really do.
Especially in Dynasty.
Oh, in Dynasty, yeah, of course.
In Dynasty, yes. In redraft,
yeah.
Like in Dynasty, I'd probably do it for Cooper. I'd do it for Adams, and I'd maybe do it for Cup. I just want to see how he comes back after that injury. But
I don't know.
I mean, in redraft, 2 out of 3 times I probably would do that deal too. I like it. I mean, you got good young talent on good offenses, so
yeah.
I just got checked in with Olave with that concussion, because that was a nasty hit this weekend.
Yeah, that was rough.
Then that comes back, right? We just have Diddy give him massages, right?
That easy. No, I like that trade. I like that trade. I think you're giving the right amount to get something back. Okay. I like that personally.
Yeah.
And even if, as someone who has Amari Cooper, I wouldn't be mad at receiving that trade. It would be hard for me to push accept or deny, but I think that's a really nice trade.
Yesterday, I would be a smash for Cooper. I'd be like, yep, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, all night and day yesterday. I'd be like, let's go. But now I'm like,
because he said he's been doing that all today. So I imagine he had those offers cooking last night and he hit the send button this morning. And that Cooper guy is probably like, nope.
Yeah. All right, guys. So crazy. Yeah, I mean, it is crazy. Steelers are considering starting Russell Wilson.
I wish Shawnee was on for this.
I know. And I'm still gonna go over Shawnee's players. Without him.
I don't understand what the Steelers are doing. This is so dumb.
What is
this? So dumb.
That makes no sense. No sense.
Especially if you're like counting on Justin Fields because he's been popping off, so you kind of might maybe.
It's not even like your performance is based. This makes no sense as a team. You have your guy. He got you 3-0. Yeah, you've eaten a couple L's the last couple weeks. You won this last week against a bad Raider. Like, what does Russell Wilson offer? Like, by doing this move, it seems like you're aiming for 500. Like, there's no ceiling with Russell having, at least with Justin Fields, you can have these big games potential. Like with Russell, I don't know. It just makes no sense. I think it's bad timing. Like if Fields was hurt, maybe, but like, well, you had to, but like, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So care about it? Don't care about it? How you guys feel?
Well, I just think it doesn't make. It's not good for the locker room. Like it's I don't know. It just got bad juju all over it. Like
I think this is stupid.
Yeah.
All you're doing is pissing off, in my opinion. Maybe he's not pissed off,
and
but
you're petting Russell's ego. Like
you're just pissing off a quarterback who he's been pretty solid.
Why watch the Dolphins call up and be like, "What do you want for Fields?"
Yeah. This makes no sense. I don't really have great words to put it in. As someone who really enjoys watching Fields play, although he's not the greatest, I enjoy how he plays. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
That could be.
If Mike Tomlin actually wants to win just 9 games every year,
that's what this move feels like.
He wants to have a winning record, right? He wants to have a winning record. I want to go back. Hold on. I want to go back to this Amari Cooper deal because we all know with Devontae Adams, right? But I mean, I feel like some people are hurting for receivers as well too. There's been a lot of receivers that haven't panned out. Is Amari Cooper a top 10 wide receiver the rest of the season? Does this make sense?
Well, you go first, Grace, since you're the 100% Cooper owner in leagues.
No, I not top 10.
Is he a must start?
Yeah, he's must start in 90% of cases. Okay. Unless you are just egregiously stacked in wide receivers. And the only reason I don't say yes, and it's just out of pure luck for me, is I have too many weapons and receivers that I don't believe starting. I can't start them every week.
Yeah.
Because there's too many things. Yeah. But a top 10, you're talking about competing with Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb. And even if you go start heading down the list, you're still at Jaden Reed, Mike Evans, Nico Collins, things that, I mean, is he going to be better than them? Don't see that.
I think his ceiling rest of season is top 15. His floor is top 20.
I agree. Complete. That is exactly where my
top 15 floor is top 20.
Yep.
Top 15 floor top 20. Right. Yep. Okay. So
he's a solid wide receiver 2 rest of season.
Solid wide receiver 2. So would you start Amari Cooper over Jerry Jeudy?
Yes, I hate the Browns offense.
Jerry Jeudy becomes number 1. So Jerry Jeudy becomes number 1. So wouldn't you say
could put Tyreek Hill on the Browns offense right now, and I'd pick Amari Cooper over Tyreek Hill.
Oh man, okay, well,
because it's so bad over there.
I think there's only one wide receiver who may be able to do it, and that is just Justin Jefferson because he's quarterback proof. But other than that,
Stefanski is familiar with him.
Yeah, but obviously that will never happen. It's just but no, I mean, I would take literally almost anyone. I would take Lazard, who's he's not proven yet, and I really would.
Hold on, I had to catch my breath on that one. I don't know about that one there.
Jerry Jeudy is I do not like him as a player in fantasy, and I don't think he's having him say that he's a wide receiver 1 is insane to me.
All right, so Neil the legend. Who's Sun God?
Amon-Ra St. Brown. Praise be to the Sun God.
I don't know this lingo you guys got these days.
Well, Amon-Ra was the Sun God in ancient Egypt.
Makes sense. So he's rolling out Sun God, Scary Terry, and Brian Thomas every week. And he'll start Cooper, he'll start Mario over Brian Thomas because Josh Allen over Trevor Lawrence. Yeah.
I mean, BTJ goes as far as T-Law will take him this year. So
that's every year.
Cooper has the better quarterback, but I think BTJ has probably a better prospect rest of as far as he's really good. Brian Thomas Jr. is really good.
Yeah, and that's the
from
thing.
what I've
Like,
seen, even on that
he
bad
is
Jaguars offense.
Malik Neighbors type player, right? It doesn't matter who the quarterback is at this moment in time. That's how you become quarterback.
That's a
Not
big
yet.
statement.
Like,
Not yet.
I think it's
No.
Okay.
I think it's Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, and then it's either probably BTJ over Dunze, because Dunze is kind of getting lost in that Bears offense right now.
Yeah, I agree with that list. I agree.
I could see if you side Dunze over BTJ, but like for me, because the sample size of what I've seen of Brian Thomas Jr. over Dunze so far this year, I like the performance out of Brian Thomas Jr. He has a stronger ability to be rest of season a wide receiver 1 in his respective offense than a Dunze, because they got Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet, DJ Moore. There's just so much going on.
I agree.
Okay. So we got Chris Bird. Chris, thanks for watching, man.
Thanks, Chris.
Needs 2 flex options: Juju, Jordan Mason, Cortland Sutton, and Ty Chandler. Well, I take Chandler off, right? Because the Vikings just picked up Cam Akers, so Chandler's not going to play. Right?
I'm not sure about that.
No.
See, here's my take. The Jordan Mason may not play this week. He was I read it today that he was in do not touch today on practice. And then I would take the risk of Juju Smith-Schuster because
that's one of them for me.
He went off last week, or before their bye week, he went off.
Also, before Rashee Rice got injured, it was the week prior when he went out for one play. Juju Smith took his exact route and scored a touchdown, or caught a touchdown pass. I think Juju is not at the caliber of Rashee Rice, but I think he's going to be taking over a lot of his routes. I think he's a good flex option. If Jordan Mason is playing this week, I like it, but I'm also 50-50 on if they do a split backfield.
Out of these 2 options, Juju's the one, because I feel he's the recipient of necessity. Worthy's going to command too much attention. Same with Kelsey, and he could be just getting lost in between, and Mahomes checks down to him and gives him,
that's his guy.
Whatever's left over. Then as far as these other 3 guys, Sutton, I am fading against the Saints defense on a short week in New Orleans. That he's going to get the Marshawn Lattimore shadow. Yeah. And Lattimore is a shutdown guy. Ask Mike Evans.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Bo Nix, if the Saints get on him right away, it's going to be a long day for Bo Nix in that offense. I can see maybe 2 or 3 catches for Sutton and a touchdown. So your ceiling's probably 10 points. Your floor is closer to a goose for Sutton, just because I think the Saints are going to play hard too after a close loss to the Buccaneers at home. And those Thursday night games are weird. So I would take Juju, and I don't like the projection of Mason this week. If he's do not touch on a Tuesday, that means he's got 2 more chances to get on the practice field, at least one of them to be in full pads and a full participant. And what they saw of Gorendo last week, I think San Francisco always edges on the side of caution with their running backs, especially with their CMC situation. I think they're going to be like, okay, enough is enough. If he's questionable, let's just take it easy. Let's not risk it, because it's a long season, and he's their best back outside of CMC right now. So, and if you have I like Ty Chandler over Akers. What I saw of Akers with the Vikings offense before he was traded was nothing special at all. I wasn't impressed by it. Whereas I've seen with Chandler before, he can break off a run or 2, and if he gets open holes, he's a really dependent on that offensive line to perform for him. He can't really make anything happen or make big plays, but if he's got a good offensive line and he finds the right spot made for him, I mean, I can see him falling in the end zone, getting like 60 yards.
Okay,
I
if
like
Jones
Juju
doesn't
and
play.
yeah. I like Juju and Chandler, if I'm honest.
Juju and Chandler, is that what we're saying?
That's what I would do.
All right.
You go with your boy Sutton, said?
Yep. I'm going Juju and Sutton. Going
game for
Juju
Bo
and
Nix,
Sutton, and I'm not watching it the rest of the weekend. I'm gonna tune in on Monday, see how it goes.
Man.
Yeah, no. Juju. Well, I mean, yeah. I don't know, because I went Chandler, I think I want to say 2 weeks ago, and it let me down.
He also he was also splitting carries there in Jones. Like it was a 60-40 backfield. Jones was getting primarily the carries, and they were sprinkling Chandler
And
in.
Jones is still there. Yeah, he's still getting the carries. Jones practiced yesterday.
Yeah,
he showed up. So, you know,
I like my picks. I'm gonna stay with my two.
yeah.
Well, plus it's a Thursday night game too with the Broncos. Anything can happen on a Thursday night game. Bo Nix is about to throw for 450 yards, 7 touchdowns,
Clip it.
3
You heard it here
touchdowns,
first.
3 touchdowns, and he's gonna run for 4. So Cortland Sutton's getting at least 6 receiving touchdowns in this game. So
Any given Thursday.
Any given Thursday. Anyway, so I mean, we might as well, I guess so. Let's roll into this Thursday night game while we got time, right? Actually, hey, let's go ahead and let's do this promo, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the Thursday night
good
game.
good time.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Thursday night game. Go from there. Where it go? Yes, sir. I got to get some more commercials for Shady Sports. So, guys, if you're tuning in, you're watching Shady Sports Fantasy Football Reports on Shady Sports Network. And as you saw in that promo, you know, we have all types of football, man. UFL, AFL, AIF, IFL. I mean, all these arena football leagues, indoor football leagues, 7-on-7, flag football. I mean, it's just, if you like football, we talk football, but we also talk other sports too. I know Monday we have a wrestling show. We have like the Big 3 basketball league. So multiple leagues, multiple shows. So I'm sure you'll find something that you like if you don't like talking fantasy football. But we hope you like talking with us, because we kind of cover a little bit of everything around the NFL here, right? So as I was saying before we did the promo, we're going to talk Broncos. So here we go. I mean, coming back, Broncos, like Chris said, is Cortland Sutton scores 6 touchdowns, I'm buying all of you a beer. If Cortland Sutton scores 6 touchdowns, I'm going to drink that free beer. I'll tell you that much.
You're pretty thirsty.
Hey, you know, Jawan Jennings had a 44-point game. So any given, Thursday, we'll see. I'm just saying. It may not happen, but don't count it out. If anybody can do it, it's our man Cortland Sutton, right? Like...
I think you're drinking too much of the orange Kool-Aid, bro.
Oh. Yeah, I don't see even half that happening.
Yeah,
not even half.
I'm sorry, man. I don't see. Oh, I don't think so, man.
So we got War
Eagle.
War Eagle. Oh, duh.
Oh, duh.
You can tell I'm not good at those puzzles.
You don't need no more beer.
Growing up. So we got War Eagle here. War Eagle. Hey, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share it. Don't forget to share, because we're trying to get 100 live. I want to get this conversation, this chat room popping, by the end of the season when we're going into the playoffs. I just want, people just discussing teams, trades, flying. I want leagues. I want whole leagues in here talking about their games. So, so we got War Eagle 2017. This week is my lineup See, I didn't read that wrong. You guys see it. That's what it says. So this week, my lineup is quarterback, Jaden Daniels, running back, Chase Brown, and Chuba Hubbard. Wide receivers, Deontay Johnson and Scary Terry. Tight end, Kincaid, and flex, Brian Thomas. Bench players, David Montgomery, James Cook, Joe Burrow, Eckler, Marvin Harrison, and Tyreek, and Jigba. Any changes?
A tight end.
Huh?
In my opinion, a tight end.
Tight end, Kincaid. So you take out Kincaid and
or I package some of these players or just
he
trade.
He doesn't have a tight end on his bench.
I know he needs one.
He needs a tight end. So you're not high up.
I'm personally starting Monty over Chase Brown. That dude, you go to Underdog Fantasy or whatever, you put down a touchdown a game. That's a safe bet. You're getting.
I'm
your
starting
money
Montgomery
back
every week. Actually, yeah. I mean, and I think I don't know. I don't remember your team, but I know Shawnee was pretty high up on David Montgomery too.
Yeah.
He had.
That's the change right there. Is I would probably either swap out Chase Brown or Chuba, which whenever you like least, with Monty, because that's a guaranteed touchdown. I don't care what defense he's going up against. That man runs angry and he runs hot and he
just got paid. He just got paid. Right?
He's running with those bags around his legs.
Sonic and Knuckles.
Yep.
Sonic and Knuckles, and he's Knuckles.
I would do Chuba Hubbard and David Montgomery. I would put Brown.
I'm fine with this quarterback. We're going up against the Panthers, so I'm fine with the quarterback.
I mean, I'm coming to the end of my run with Chuba, but I do like running. Chuba has been going off. Chuba.
Well, Brian Thomas Jr. should be back this week, so that takes down the value of Eckler. And then James Cook, I don't know about his health situation, where that's going. So it's definitely Chuba over those two guys right now, depending on the status of other players in those offenses.
And then Marvin Harrison is coming off a concussion, so who knows if he's going to play.
But they're playing the Chargers on Monday night, and the Chargers are a strong pass defense.
We see what they just did to.
We did, didn't we? You hopped around and found out.
Yeah, we did, right? I thought I was hyped. Let me tell you guys,
Their pass defense was so good that it gave Harbaugh a heart arrhythmia. Said.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had to go take a dump.
It's so weird. I don't know about you guys. It's so weird for me to see Tyreek on the bench, but I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
But I'm scared to play Tyreek, man.
It's just optically, like looking at it, it's like,
he's on my bench in one of my leagues. I don't trust him he's not quarterback proof. And he's proven that week to week to week.
Well, it's not that he's not quarterback proof. It's that they don't have a quarterback. You have to have a quarterback to even be quarterback proof, right?
That's fair,
I mean, Tyler Huntley is like
he's bargain bid Lamar Jackson.
Bargain bid Lamar Jackson,
and he wants to do that, but he's just not at that level.
You can't have that if you're not at that level, especially if you don't have Michael Vick arm strength, or you don't have super laser.
So I'm fine with his wide receivers too. It's just the tight end. I would probably try to maybe.
Who would you try to pick up? Who would you guys try to get off?
I
guess we don't know what your league look like there, War Eagle.
Well, I don't know. What the settings are, but regardless of the settings, I mean, if you could try to get like a Brock Bowers, now that Adams is out of that offense, he's gonna probably be the number one target for the Raiders.
Right? Yeah, you could probably trade away you could probably package. I would
maybe swap Tyreek Hill for George Kittle.
Nah, they're not gonna swap Tyreek Hill.
No.
Okay.
No. Maybe Tyreek Hill and Joe Burrow for George Kittle.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, just from name value alone to get like a tight end of that value, but it's depending on how you want to do it. I was just man. All good things have to come to an end. It's going to happen this weekend. You'll see. I was there last year when the Lions took the division on the Vikings in the last game of the season. It's they're up biting kneecaps and taking people out. They just smashed Jerry Jones's birthday cake right back in his face this weekend.
I know, right? It was that was kind of like when James Harden threw his own birthday cake overboard in the crowd party. Like, what can you do? So. we'll get to this Broncos game, I guess, right? Thursday night game. We'll talk about our
Yeah.
and what we think. We all know Broncos are going to win in my eyes, but whatever. You guys think what you can think, but whatever. But anyway,
Well,
Chris
no, we can
Bird.
go over it. We got some.
No,
we got
we're
some.
gonna get with these. We got these guys
Yeah.
chiming in. So,
Yeah.
Chris Bird traded Zamir White for Cortland Sutton right after Week 1 ended.
Well, he's looking good, I guess.
Smart move, right? Because Zamir
Yeah.
White hasn't done anything, right? They replaced him with Madison. I think that was.
I think
really
he's
good
still
move.
battling back from a groin injury. I don't know if he practiced at all today.
I know. I know he's. Yeah, I'm not sure where he is health wise. So I'm not against that trade. Actually, I like that. Especially if you have running backs still. If you haven't been hit with the injuries, I'd be overall happy with that. For someone who's literally doing nothing to someone who at least could get points.
Yeah. Unless you're just like me and you just like trading away assets anyway, but I think that's a good trade.
And if you're me and you're like
just
taking
throwing
those
money
assets,
out, you're like, you
right. Just go ahead and do it. It's fine. No. All right. Supreme J-Mod. Yo, Supreme. Thank you guys for watching. All these people coming
Thanks,
in
Supreme.
from
Thanks, Chris, for your questions.
I'm trying to log onto our Twitch. I haven't been able to. I guess I'm too old for that site or something.
Hey, you're welcome, War Eagle. Anytime. We're here to help.
There we go. So, do they trade Debo for Gibbs? And I say,
I'll let you guys go first because I have the bias.
Of course. So I was to say no.
No.
I know Debo hasn't been the best lately. He's coming off that injury, and he hasn't looked like what you expected to see from him so far, but it's Debo Samuel. It's his offense, right? It's his offense, and CMC's offense is built around those guys.
Yep.
You saw it. You saw it right before he went out, or before. I don't know. I didn't watch his last. Oh, I guess I did watch his last game. They had him lining up at running back, right? So he's gonna get his, right? He's gonna get his, however it may be, and that was a fluke. It was super low. Yeah, you weren't expecting that, but at the same time, Gibbs didn't exactly. I think he got like 12 or 13 points. I have to look it up. But, I mean, he's going to get his too. Yeah, of course, if you go with Gibbs, he's going to get his. But I just think Debo has a higher upside because there's more opportunities for him. And it seems like Gibbs and Montgomery, it seems like they have unlimited opportunities, and Jared Goff is still able to throw it for 50 times a game. Somehow they're doing 50 passes, and they're both getting 25 carries each, which is what you want to see on a team. But, I mean, Debo Samuel's getting like all 100 of those snaps in some way, shape, or form. At least 75 of them are built around him until CMC comes back. In my opinion, will not do that.
Yeah, I know you want to go last. I would not do that trade unless you're desperate for a running back. Unless you need like a strong RB. I would not do that trade because I agree. I think the ceiling is much higher for Debo. Obviously not the most consistent start for him, but I think that's going to come back, in my opinion. And that's just, unless you're desperate for a running back, I think Debo's going to get, I agree, things are made for him, and he's lining up at running back. He's getting plenty of opportunities, which is what I love to see. That's number one. If he gets opportunities to get yards, get points, get everything, that's what I like to see. So I would not do that trade.
And hold on, Justin, not to cut you off.
I wasn't going to start. I know you're the best driver.
I want to say too, though. I mean, obviously, if they're thinking about trading away Debo, it sounds like they have solid receivers. So just throw them in your flex. That's my opinion. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, so if in a PPR redraft, I am not doing this deal because volume is king, and you're going to get that way more with Debo at this moment. It's Monty's offense, and Gibbs is the icing on the cake. He's the cherry on top. He's the sprinkles. So, but they both have that ability to hit the home run ball. They both can bust off a 60, 70-yard play, take it to the house. So that kind of washes out. But in redraft, though, right now, you need to win now. You need to play it. You got to get those points where you can get them now, and you have a higher opportunity getting that with Debo at the moment until you see Gibbs start to take more of a 50-50, 60-40 which I don't see that happening because the Lions have their mindset on how they want to operate this offense, and it's going to run through Monty first, and then it's going to run through those other pieces after that. So redraft PPR, I am not doing this deal. However, in Dynasty, I am smashing this deal because at some point I feel because they gave Monty a two-year deal.
Mhm.
So, and Gibbs is still young, and I have hope and faith that at some point it evens out. And I think in the long term, by that time, Debo will be approaching his 30s, being older. I don't know if he's going to be in the Niners offense or if they're going to trade him away for assets or how their team construction goes. But I like the long view for Gibbs over Debo. So in Dynasty, I would do this deal. Or your draft, I wouldn't.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. I think those are. I think it's all good answers. I don't think it's wrong either way it goes.
Because I think they're
Like,
both essentially pass catching running backs. like
yeah.
Debo's a running back that at the wide receiver position. I think Gibbs is like a wide receiver at the running back position. So they kind of have the both similar traits. It's just what offense long rest of season is going to have the better opportunity to put up points.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of running backs, didn't you have a crazy trade going on there, Justin?
Yes, I did, and it's kind of on pause right now. I've been getting messages since the show, but I kind of put it on pause. And yeah, you guys made me think on it some more, so I'm kind of being a little hesitant. I mean, where I'm at with that league with running backs is I'm pretty much set, but yeah, I'm definitely taking more of the risk in that trade. So it depends on how I want to build my roster. So I'm kind of unsure of it still now. I mean, at first, I was thinking about going for it, but I have to think, because I do have, some pieces that are hurt and injured, and I have a few rookies in my running back spot already on top of the one I'd be trading. So
it looks like the Lions gave defensive lineman McNeil a 4-year deal worth $97 million.
Yep. I see what they're doing. They're shoring up their interior line, making them happy for rightfully so. He's a great player. He's filling the gaps. He's doing his role inside, but it's just kind of like you're dancing around the elephant in the room. You need an edge rusher. Okay. Now you're paying your interior line defensive lineman. You need to get a pass rusher. It's been like 2 years now that they're supposed to have a pass rusher for opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. And now you're in a worst case scenario where you don't have Aiden Hutchinson and you have no pass rushers. And you have the cap space to go get somebody. So
right, why don't they go get Max Crosby?
It must be that the Raiders don't want to get rid of him. If I'm the Lions, I'm dropping a first round pick at least for whoever
I'm giving them a second and a half.
Do you think anyone in next year's
pick.
draft is worth first round value over Max Crosby?
Dude, they just traded away Devontae Adams for a pack of chicken nuggets. I'm not giving them a first round pick.
If that's what it takes to get Max Crosby, I'm absolutely doing it because Max Crosby is a game wrecker. He on that Lions defensive line, he will absolutely eat everyone's soul.
Especially in that defense where
you have to factor that what's at stake there too. It's like if you put a player like Max Crosby on the Raiders who's balling out, you put him on the Lions defensive lineman, he is absolutely worth the first round pick. He's gonna get that return value for you. He's gonna tear it up. Yeah. If that's what it's gonna take. I personally would do it because at this point you have no defensive, you have your interior guy, you have no one on the edge, you have no one to pressure the quarterback, you have no one that puts fear and the other team's eyes of, oh, this guy's going to come get me and sack me.
Okay.
They just signed off the practice squad, this Isaiah Thomas guy, which is just another cop-out. It's just they're trying to patchwork a defensive line, and it's just, to me, it's frustrating. Like, if you really want to be a Super Bowl contender, you really want to be in that conversation, and you got to make the moves. You got to do something.
Especially
put an exclamation point on it and say that you show you want to be there. Like at some point, you got to put your money where your mouth is. You can talk about being a Super Bowl contender. You can talk about being the best in the NFC all you want, but if you're not going to lay down the assets in order to make that happen when you just lost your best defensive player for at least a year. Like you're your hands are tied. You got to make a move. You got to do something. You can't just throw random guys in and hope it works.
Yeah, my perspective, if you're gonna get an elite rusher like Crosby, I mean, I'm not against the first rounder. I mean,
because if you're thinking if you're the Lions and you're going to be that far, your pick's what 25 to 32.
And that's when you were talking, that's really all I was thinking about is where is their position going to be in the draft anyway, and what are they going to get for that? And so really, like ideally, I would love to just on like if I were trying to trade for him, I would rather get rid of a second.
Yeah,
I'm not. If they were like, nope, we want a first, I would probably do it. And because I'm really trying to think also in that position in the draft, what other areas of the team do I think need to be improved? That would really improve you where they're most likely going to fall that late in the first round.
Yo,
give it to them.
So I didn't know Travis Etienne.
Just to like put it up in a bow and be done with it. Like
yeah. Because I want to talk about this next.
Yeah,
game.
Just to think about it, like going through even after next year, just think about potentially like a Myles Garrett or Max Crosby opposite of Aiden Hutchinson next year.
Oh man,
my God,
they need it
now.
You
got a superstar defensive end now.
Yeah.
Let Hutch get it, because then that gives you security of being like, okay, we can let him get healthy. We can let him rehab. We don't need to rush him back. We got
maybe they're hoping they can draft one.
But at 25 through 32, if you're that far, like if your aspirations for Super Bowl or as close to it, your 25 is like the lowest or high, where you're going to be at. Like you're at least making the playoffs, you're making a run. So, I mean, I don't know, man.
And I, once again, also, I Crosby, you're almost guaranteed. I mean, you are guaranteed an elite rusher, and if you draft someone, welcome to the NFL. You don't know. There's a lot of risk there, especially that late in the first round, or even pick one. I mean, we saw Caleb Williams come out this year, just look like trash, and now he's looking to pick it up. But I mean,
ever since CJ pulled him to the side, right?
Or even like think about it too, like former first Trayvon Walker from the Jags.
Yeah,
call him up. Well, how they feeling about him? They're how their season's going. Like
speaking of the Jags, so I didn't know Travis Etienne was hurt.
He is.
Hamstring. So I'm reading here. It says Marlon Mack was on a private jet headed to London. So,
oh wow, I didn't hear about that.
Would you be looking? And it's probably just a rumor. I mean, it's not like an official report, right? So, because I can't find anything else on it. But would you be looking to pick up Marlon Mack just to hold on to him? Do you think that's something? Especially if it sounds like Etienne's going to be out for a while. Well, they have that other guy too, Dearness John. I guess they have a running back room. Probably not. I'd probably look at.
I wouldn't touch any. I was saying, Grayson.
No Tank
Sunday. Like I want nothing to do with the Jags running back room. Like, they're not going to be. Their running game is going to be the emphasis of their game script for the rest of the season. They're going to be playing from behind. They're going to have to put up points. They're not going to do it running the ball.
100%. I completely agree. I have nothing to add to that. Truly,
Cool.
Well, I mean, I know I did a deal earlier tonight for him, but like that's because it's dynasty and it's a long-term, long view look at it. And like redraft, I'm not. I'm no.
All right,
but it's good for him because he's a guy who came off a serious injury. He hadn't get like a fair shake of it with the Colts and I think he was with a couple other teams in between. So, I mean, hopefully he gets an opportunity and makes something of it. But he will have a couple other bodies to get past with Dearness Johnson and Tanks Bigsby.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. So, well, we got a moment. You know what? We might as well. We got your team of the week.
You don't want to go through? You don't want to go through your Broncos?
We'll get there.
Okay,
we'll get there before we'll get to the reviews. Why are you itching to talk about the Lions game? Is that what it is?
No. I didn't even think we were going to do that this show. I thought we were going over your Broncos and whatnot.
Not necessarily in detail. We'll just kind of touch on the game and give our predictions for it being a Thursday night game, right? So, but we got your team of the week. I mean, I think this is
Mhm.
a little bit more fantasy relevant because there's not so many fantasy players in that Broncos. So, I mean, there is on the same side, but you know what I mean. So yeah, we got your team of the week. Quarterback Joe Burrow versus the Browns. Yeah. Running back Kyron Williams versus the Raiders. Running back Saquon Barkley versus the Giants. Okay, I mean, hopefully, right? Wide receiver Drake London versus the Seahawks. Like it. Wide receiver 2, Jaden Reed versus the Texans. Ooh, yeah, that defense been suspect, but good. It's been good, but very suspect. Tight ends, George Kittle versus the Chiefs. George Kittle, I was gonna say we're gonna talk about that as he tight end number 1. And then flex Deontay Johnson versus the Commanders. Yeah, the Commanders defense is suspect. I like it. Kicker Justin Tucker. We'll talk about that. And then defense, Buffalo Bills versus the Titans. What you don't got no faith in Will Levis. So yeah, I mean, let's go. I mean, Justin, you tell us why'd you go with these guys?
Well, this week I mostly went through kind of from what it looks like low hanging fruit, and I'll explain why. Like Joe Burrow, I think he's just going to bully the Browns. At minimum, he's going to have
Hopefully,
probably,
right? Look what the Eagles did. I mean,
the Eagles are, their coach is a clown. They're a mess.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
No, you're all good. Like I don't have a read on the Eagles offense right now after week 1. I don't know what they're trying to do there, but it should be going for just run through with Saquon Barkley, which would be smart. Joe Burrow versus the Browns, I think he's going to get you probably about 20 points is the floor, possibly 30 ceiling. He's going to probably have 250 and 2 touchdowns. I feel against the Browns. I feel the Browns are hapless. They just traded away their best offensive weapon, essentially. And I think Burrow and them are going to try to get back in the standings here in the AFC North, and they're just going to put a stamp and make an exclamation point on this game and just, put it away and take care of business. And kind of what the Lions did to the Cowboys, they're just going to keep putting up points on them. So I feel Burrow will be part of a lot of that point making, being the quarterback there.
Okay.
Because I feel like, too, the Browns defense is going to be on the field so much, they're going to be tired on defense. So he'll be able to expose a lot of that defense over through the course of the game.
All right.
Or do you have a little bit more faith in the Browns D, or where are you sitting at it?
Oh, no. I feel good. I was gonna let you go through them and then talk about.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
well, Kyron, I think with Cup coming back off his injury, I think they'll ease him back into his workload. Still no Puka. I mean, Stafford's been doing patchwork offense. They're coming off a bye, so they'll be fresh, ready to go. And I really don't think they'll need to exert their will on the Raiders. So they'll probably run the ball, Kyron, 20, 30 times, drain that clock, put up points, and he could have a solid floor game for you as you're running back 1. I decided to go with Barkley versus it's the revenge game. I'm guessing he's probably should do close to what he did against the Packers week 1. I think he was pretty upset, as much as he didn't really express it to the public, about his feelings about how the Giants treated him. So I feel like this is a perfect script revenge game, pound it down their throats. Eagles shouldn't have to be throwing too much because the Giants, from what I watched that game last night, they didn't really put up much of a threat against the Bengals, and the Bengals are really not that great of a defense. So I went with Barkley as the revenge game narrative. I think he'll have a good game for you, get you some solid points in your running back 1, running back 2 spot. I picked Drake London against the Seahawks here because that Seahawks secondary has been susceptible all year long. They're bleeding points in the secondary and touchdowns to wide receivers. So I feel Kirk Cousins and Drake are going to cook against the Seahawks, even though they're traveling across the country on the road in Seattle. I feel like Drake London will be able to get on track, get a good PPR game out of them for you.
Okay.
Hopefully a touchdown. I think it'll be a good game overall because they'll need to score points to keep up with the Seahawks. But from what I've seen of the Seahawks defense in the games I watched, I mean, we saw the Lions cook them a couple weeks ago, and the Giants cooked them. Like they're a defense that's susceptible to get points put up on them.
Very true.
Did Jaden Reed versus the Texans? My thought process behind there is that with Deontavian Wicks going down, it's not too much of a factor, but I think this is going to be offenses are going to be on the field a lot of the game. It's going to be a shootout. So Jordan Love's guy is Jaden Reed. I feel like he's going to work out of the backfield, short intermediate routes, and he has that potential of hitting that big long play as we saw. I think it was last week or the week before, that 70-yarder. So I think against the Texans, that defense just let Drake May throw the ball all over them, and that's a rookie doing that. That was really raw. So I think Jordan Love can eviscerate and pick apart that Texans defense, and Jaden Reed will be the primary recipient of all that good fortune. For the tight end, George Kittle, I mean, I'm just looking at the matchups and down the landscape here, and it's really hard to argue that Kittle isn't the number one tight end this week, even playing the Chiefs defense. I mean, I think Brandon Ayuk and Debo will do enough to keep the middle of the field open for George, and he'll be able to just get behind those linebackers and, do what he did last week in the red zone against the Seahawks and be productive. Flex and Deontay versus the Commanders. I saw the awakening of Zay Flowers against the Commanders last week, him getting in between those gaps, filling in those zones, and being a PPR machine. And I think that's what Deontay Johnson's known for, not necessarily yards, but receptions. And he's going to, get his 8 to 10 catches, which is a nice safe floor for you in PPR. And I think that Commanders-Panthers game could be high scoring. As oddly as it is, I feel like the Commanders will put up points, and because of that, the Panthers will put up points to match that, and they won't necessarily do it by running unless if they get a good start and get a lead early. So that's why I have him there. I picked Justin Tucker as my kicker solely because I watched how effectively the Saints were able to move the ball on the Buccaneers, not necessarily score touchdowns, but they were able to move the ball into the green light areas, the red zone areas well enough where if the drive stop, I feel Justin Tucker's good for, some field goals. And at least I think the Ravens are going to put up points against the Buccaneers. I mean, they're hurting on defense. I don't see them being like a stalwart pass stopping defense, and something that I know he's had his struggles earlier in the year, but I feel like that Ravens offense is starting to come together now. They're starting to find their identity of what they want to do and how they want to operate.
True.
Makes them more dangerous and effective of getting their positive side of the field to give Tucker the opportunities, whether he makes them or not. Any given weekend, we saw on Monday night how kicking is so important.
Yeah. Oh man. Who is the Buffalo's? What's his name again? Buffalo's kicker?
Tyler Bass.
Yeah. Is he still their kicker? Did they get rid of him?
No, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
They're still running with them. As far as I'm aware,
I don't know who they picked it to, so I'd assume.
Did they keep him after what I watched yesterday?
Yeah, I don't know. It's seriously a question. Maybe we'll see by Sunday.
We'll see. Well, good. So Buffalo Bills versus the Titans. Yeah, I like that.
I think the reason why I picked the Bills against the Titans, because I think this is going to be the week for the Titans where it's either going to be break it or just bend it. If they don't do anything on offense, they're going to probably start switching pieces around, and which makes the Bills even more juicier, just taking advantage of mistakes if they try to put in whoever Mason Rudolph, if Lo Levis isn't getting it done, and if Calvin Ridley is popping off angry or Hopkins doesn't get his. And I don't know, that Titans offense is just such a enigma right now. I don't know who's going to be their X factor or who stretches the field for them to stay on, keep drives sustained. That's the one thing the Bills are good at, is slowing teams down and killing drives. So, and I think they're pretty hyped after that big win on Monday night. So they got that going for them too. I don't see the Titans really as I mean, didn't want to go like, obvious, defenses. I just feel like this is someone who might be on the waiver wire that you could pick up and stream, or if you've been riding with these guys that you can still feel comfortable even after last night's game to roll out in your lineups and have a solid floor.
Okay. Grayson, what are your thoughts? What do you think about this team? You rolling this team out or?
Oh yeah, I love it. I truly love it. I think. I mean, I honestly think Kyron Williams is also going to have a phenomenal game, in my opinion.
So
I
who
really
else hates the Raiders here. No, I'm just playing.
No, I wouldn't. If I had that team, I'd be perfectly happy. I would not make an adjustment. I think
No changes.
No, I love it.
Okay.
I really do. I
tried to build it like I explained, like Grayson, like in like previous weeks, is like when I'm doing this, I'm trying to like build the team, not like a bunch of all superstars. Like I try to factor in like where like these guys could have been drafted and like how you might have like through trades acquired, like how at this point in the season you could have built your roster up at like, obviously it'd be like Barkley being your first pick, probably Drake your second, and Kyron your third, or maybe flip flop those two. But like, I just try to build it more like real rather than doing like, I'm going Chase, Jefferson, Seany like every week. I'm just trying to keep it more realistic that can be more reflective of what other people's lineups could be.
No, I agree, and I really wouldn't change anything on that lineup. If I was rolling that out, if I traded to get to that, I'd be very, very happy.
Okay.
Like I'm with Grayson too. I'm streaming defenses every week, so like I feel like Bills could be up there and just throw them in.
They're available in some leagues that I think only in one league that I think just one of my ESPN leagues it is available. But I honestly think Bills are the number one defense this week, in my opinion.
Also factoring in buys. I don't know who's on the buy exactly, but that also plays into it.
I think Broncos are number two. Funny enough, I know you just said that, and I think in everyone's honesty, with how I'm streaming defenses, said you're ahead of me on the waiver wire, but I have Bills and then Broncos as for my streaming.
I think
defense.
the Saints Broncos game is going to be low scoring. It might be a kicker fest because I just don't know how if Olave doesn't play too. I mean, that puts a lot of pressure on Rattler or whoever's quarterbacking to get Shaheed deep bombs and Foster Moreau if they get in the red zone. It's a formula for a short week, tough losses for both teams. It could be just a slobber knocker of the field. See a lot of
running game
because the defense is too. Because I think is Surtain ready to go?
Oof, I don't know.
From what I read today, not like 100%.
Okay,
but
because if he plays, like he's going to take Shaheed, and that's going to be a big hit for the Saints offense.
He's from what I read today, he's expected to play, and that's if I'm honest, I think it's just going to be a turnover game. I think they're just going to throw interception after interception on both sides, and obviously, hopefully, Surtain is back. From what I read, he's supposed to be. He's going to shut down whoever, if Olave somehow makes it in time.
Yeah, he didn't practice on Monday, so we'll see.
I wouldn't imagine, dude. He got hit so hard he dropped the ball.
That was a brutal hit, but I mean,
his head on the ground, like he just smashed his head against the ground.
It was a gnarly hit. I mean, that was a big hit.
But you saw who he was covering though. Lad McConkey. Lad was not about to get any points that night. He got that changed the entire game because then they just had to change their entire defense and go for a man coverage.
They're putting like the entire Broncos defensive plan is just around
Pat Surtain locking down the number one receiver, taking away your first read, and then hopefully the defensive line, hopefully those linemen are able to get there to the quarterback by the time he looks at the second or third read, right?
It doesn't help too that you lost your star linebacker a couple weeks ago, the Singleton with the
Alex Singletary.
So it's like
but I mean, we still got Barton is looking good. They would just pick somebody up too. I don't know who it was. But,
yeah, but overall, I think that's going to be a low-scoring game, like you said, and I think it's just going to be turn it over, turn it over, turn it over, and so I'm very comfortable having a defense that I can feel is going to get 8 to 10 points very easily, even if it's for some reason not a turnover machine and it's just a bunch of running yards. I think the Broncos and New Orleans game is going to be a very boring game.
Thursday night game. It's going to be a Thursday night game, right?
I guess what I'm
well,
not
the last
doing
one was
Thursday.
a barn burner. The Falcons and the Saints, was it? Or Buccaneers? Falcons and Buccaneers. That there was a lot of points that game.
Watch, it's a shootout between Spencer Rattler and Bo Nix.
No.
They each throw over
maybe for
300
INTs,
yards.
they're competing who throws more interceptions.
Oh,
and if
this
the
guy
Broncos
over here with Jared Goff now, all of a sudden he's in quarterback heaven. He thinks he just knows quarterbacks when he sees them.
First
right?
quarterback in a long time to pull a Drew Brees and throw for a passer rating of over 150 in consecutive games.
Well, I mean, I could throw a passer rating in that with those receivers and those runners.
He's the only quarterback this year to go 18 for 18.
Yeah, I mean, so we'll see. No, I'm not hating on the Lions though, for sure.
I mean, hopefully the New Orleans game, as someone who does have Kamara, I hope to God it's just a run-heavy game.
If you're Spencer Rattler, you check it down to Kamara or you hand it off to Kamara.
Yeah.
Don't get cute.
Check it down to Kamara, you hand it off.
Well, yeah, I mean, the only reason why you
get hit,
chuck it downfield to Shaheed if he's got the Surtain shadow is if he for somehow breaks the coverage and is blatantly open. Otherwise,
so speaking of Shaheed's hurt. He didn't
practice. Oh, really?
Yeah, he has a knee injury.
Smash
he missed
that Broncos
straight practice, right? So are you starting or sitting Raheem Shaheed?
If he plays, and Surtain
knowing
plays,
that he didn't practice today and yesterday.
Oh no, set.
I'm not even flexing him.
No flex. But Kamara, you're starting.
Yeah.
Yes, because I feel like the game script will try to keep it out of Rattler's hands as much as possible so there's no mistakes and trust your best player on offense, and that's Kamara.
Is that the only player starting this Thursday? Is that
question,
the only player playing?
The only caveat to that is, once again, Kamara is questionable for the third week in a row.
Oh, really? Wow.
Third week in a row. He is from, I believe.
He was limited today.
Miller or two.
Yeah, he is limited into his carries too. Correct. But I mean, this is the third week in a row off of the exact same injury.
I don't have any shares of Kamara, so I don't know. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, he's
been going down.
It's hip and hand, I believe.
Yep.
And they, I mean, he's played every week with it, but also he is by week 12.
Oh,
like I mean, for someone who truly, in my opinion, is your best player, I mean, I will trust me. Wednesday or Thursday morning, I will be watching everything to see if I pull him out of my lineup. Not because he isn't great and he wouldn't do well against the Broncos. It's just I want to win, and I think there's a chance with a bye week so far away in him for the third week in a row having the same on a short week, being questionable again. I don't know. I'm a little worried about that.
Kamara will tell us a lot. If he's limited in practice, I'm really scared. If he's a full go, I'm considering it. But if he's limited or anything, like with tomorrow's practice, like going into Thursday, oof.
Listen to this. I was looking at Kamara in my dynasty, right?
Yep.
Listen to this haul that came from Kamara. So first because our dynasty we start super early. So March of this year on the teammate traded Kamara, a 2024 first, a 2024 second, a 2024 fifth, and a sixth for Calvin Ridley and a 2024 first. So crazy. And then in May 20th, that team took Kamara by himself and traded for Njoku, a 2025 second, two 2025 second round picks. Weird. And then 2 days later, that player that got Kamara took Kamara and traded for Tony Pollard, J.K. Dobbins in the 2025 first.
No, that's probably the best trade out of those first two years.
Yeah, I mean, for what it is, I mean,
wow.
For Dynasty, it's a little scary. Those are two
it's still scary. But if I had to pick between those three deals, I'll just do the third one if I had to trade him.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Now looking back, right? Those first two would be like.
I was so out on Calvin Ridley this season, going into the year, going to a new team, and
will he be traded next? Is he the next one to be traded or what?
What?
Broncos?
No, he might. I don't know. Maybe DeAndre Hopkins. Who knows?
Ooh, yeah.
But when I posted the question in the Facebook group, who's the player going into Week 7 that you believe now is the time to drop? Calvin Ridley was the guy I was going to go with.
Okay. And why is that?
That's if I'm set with if he's someone I'm not regularly starting, I have better options in my wide receiver room. I'm past buys. I'm not with injuries. Like that's someone I'm comfortable dropping to make room for other waiver ads that could potentially help my team get better in other. Because I don't think there's a trade market or a value for him right now with how that Titans offense is looking at what he's been doing.
I'm just taking a look at some of my teams, seeing who I'd be willing to drop, and just at this point, there's a few of them.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good question this far into the year to ask.
All right, here, okay. Let's do some start set questions. Hold on.
Well, no, it is who would you drop said by weeks? Like who's someone like the question I posted? Who going to week 7 do you believe is time to drop?
Let me look at my team and see, because right at the beginning of the season, who was saying? I was telling you. I mean, you would have swore up and down it would have been Drake London, right?
You and that
Drake
man
London's my must-have player, right? So, looking at my ESPN league, who is a player that I must drop? I'm gonna say
it's time to. You feel it's time to you're okay dropping them to make room for other areas of your team to get better.
Trey Sermon.
That's fair. Yeah.
Just because I feel like I've used them up. I can't use them no more. We can't pull over anymore. We already pulled over.
He's out of gas. Just leave him on the side of the road. Let someone else pick him up.
Now, let me see. Okay, so my 8-team league league.
Mm-hmm.
That one's a little harder, right? Because I mean, I got 100 points sitting on my bench, over 100 points sitting on my bench, right? So I'm like, who would I drop? And I'm looking like, dang, like if I had to pick somebody else up, it'd be hard. Listen, okay, this is okay. Well, I'm about to put. Oh gosh,
I know it's spicy. The guy I picked, Calvin Ridley, is like someone I feel like it's a debatable question. Like you consider not doing it, but maybe doing it if you had to.
Well, because he hasn't been Calvin Ridley got what, like 2 points last game?
Well, it's not even that. Just look at his production and his snap. Like he is where you drafted him going into this season of like his value then compared to now. Like I don't think you could get anything comparable to where you drafted him.
Yeah.
If you were to trade him now.
I think on my 8-team league, I would probably drop Chuba. Because it was like between Chuba, Scary Terry, and Tank Dell. And I feel like Tank Dell is about to go off, right? And Scary Terry's going off, right? So I guess in that sense, it'd be between you'd also add Drake London and Stephon Diggs. My team is stacked in that league, so I wouldn't drop anyone.
It sounds like
All right, let me go. Okay, my dynasty team, though, I can tell you there, it'd probably be Danny Dimes because he didn't do nothing for me last week.
Yeah. If you're finding the quarterback position, you got a good starter that you feel has passes by, or then
honestly, it'd be Calvin Ridley. I have him in that dynasty league, and it'd probably be him. I think I might have, I don't know what I have for the waiver yet, but I mean, would you start Ray McLeod over Calvin Ridley?
I haven't paid attention to McLeod. I don't know what he's been doing.
I'll tell you this cuff I got in my dynasty. Noah Gray.
Okay.
Just for dynasty, because I feel like he is going to look.
Week 5,
really
the
good.
Chiefs were rolling out 3 tight end sets, so he was at least getting some play.
Yeah. But no, yeah, I'd probably drop. Calvin Ridley is actually a really decent option. It would suck though if he got traded to a team and just like went off and was a top 15 wide receiver the rest of the year.
I don't think that's going to happen in that offense.
Yeah.
I've seen enough of the Titans offense this season where I don't think there's a real ceiling there. It's going to be a constant battle between, are they going to give it to Hopkins? Are they going to give it to Ridley? Are they going to even throw the ball? Are they going to run a bunch with Tony Pollard? Are they going to give Tajay Spears a run at it if they're not, doing that well overall in the standings? Oh, hey, it's Sam.
What up, Sam? Yo, Grayson, what do you have?
I've been sitting here this entire time trying.
Exactly. It's like
here's the kicker.
You shouldn't be trying to drop people.
I don't really drop. I trade.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
And so I haven't really.
That's a justifiable answer.
I don't really drop. If I'm gonna trade, if there's someone I'm like, ooh, maybe unless they're just like abysmal and it's like no one, this doesn't even matter as a part of the trade. That's not really how I work it. When I'm doing trades, normally I'll do something that's fair and just give that little extra push of someone that like, I'll move on from them anyway. And so
that's a good tip, good strategy for people.
So I
believe in it too, because my last resort is dropping. If I can't get a trade market or trade for a guy, and I absolutely
I mean, I'll drop. I do waiver wires, so
because I've tried and I can't get anything for Ridley. Like nobody wants.
I'll ride
him.
with my players. I don't care. I'll roll Tank Bigsby out and get 3 points from him if I have to. I ain't scared. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. But I'm not just dropping people.
I really, on my main ESPN team, I would really be down to just 2 handcuffs that, like, if I have nothing to do it. And I mean, as sad as it is, and I mean, he's probably available on like 90% of leagues, is Braylon Allen, Bucky Irving. I mean, other than that, the players on my bench are too
valuable. Yeah, you have a good stash.
And even with Bucky Irving, I think there's enough value in him to trade to someone else. I think Braylon Allen, I don't think anyone's going to do a trade for that, but he's also available in so many leagues. I only have him because if Bryce Hall goes down, my position in the waiver wire every week, I'm not going to get him. And so I want to hold on to him just in case something does happen to Breece Hall. And for some reason, Aaron Rodgers, the essential head coach, let's be honest, decides he wants to start running the ball again.
Yeah.
I want him there. So I always tend to trade players away rather than drop.
I just thought it'd be a good question for the week. Throw it out there for chat. See if there's any responses.
Yeah, you don't be dropping those players, man. You got to use them, put them to work. You're gonna have them put them to work, right?
Well, if they ain't moving on your team, they gotta go somewhere.
Somebody else will move for them, though. Somebody else will want them. You just gotta find. I suck at trades, right? That's why I do the waiver wire. I can't put together a trade.
Well, it's because you just don't know like player value, or you just don't like reading people's team needs or team wants, or
because I always like
communication is key in a trade.
Right?
If you're able to talk
their value
with the other person.
I know I overestimate my player's value and underestimate their player value. You know what I mean? So
and that's a start too, because there's a lot of people out there who won't admit that they overvalue or overestimate their own players' values and affect the trade components to it.
As someone who's traded with you, I don't think that's true.
Oh,
I don't think it's been unfair on either side. But I think you've been incredibly fair for AJ Brown. I think if you looked at that trade today, it would look like you were blackout drunk and accepted it.
But at the time, though, right? Singletary was going on
that Kool-Aid.
And that's the thing.
At the time, I threw Singletary in, right? The next game, and he got me points, and I'm pretty sure he won me that week. So it was worth it. I did what I had to do, and that's how it's gonna be, though, right? I mean, that's on any trade, though. Like if you can't look back on your trade and be like, "Oh, I should have kept him."
That's
Then
not healthy.
you probably,
That's not a good way to
yeah, you
go about
gotta
it. Don't
evaluate
ever
your
be looking
draft
back at trades and
position.
be like, I should have known it. What? No, that's
Exactly,
Yeah,
because
but
you'll never.
not. You're always
you'll
looking
never.
forward.
Yep.
At the time, Derek Carr looked like he was going to be unbelievable.
Yep.
And then
I
he
know.
just shut the.
And now I got Spencer Rattler, so I mean,
Yeah.
we see how that one went. But I still
You
got
got the
Singletary, and I
rattlesnake?
got I still got Singletary, and I think I had Tracy. Did I have Tracy? No.
Yeah,
Well,
but
whatever.
I tend to trade out my
My
players.
running back
before I
room is
drop.
good anyways.
Yeah.
Or no, my wide receiver room, I'm solid with it. I don't care. I ain't afraid of no ghost, man. I'll keep picking up and keep getting my flex right, because my two wide receivers are gonna get their points regardless.
And I don't know if people do any IDP or still doing IDP, but I also have a player of the
got your
week.
IDP of the week. Yeah, boy.
Because it plays into that talk we were having with the Broncos and Saints.
Yeah.
This man was balling out the last 3 games, and he's emerged as a good opposite of Marshawn Lattimore. He's available in a lot of leagues. If that would have I've seen if you got a league sleeping on him, sitting there on the waiver wire. I mean, he's playing 100% of snaps. That's the first thing you want. He's playing every down.
Okay.
And you're going up against a rookie quarterback at home on a short week. That is a recipe for success. And I feel he's going to just, like what Grayson's saying, it's going to be a sloppy.
Don't listen to him, guys. Don't let him set you up in your IDP, and then you end up with 7
No,
points,
if you have
points.
IDP
No,
settings, if you look it up, he's been he was hot the last 3 weeks. So there's a trend as a consistency there.
Okay. So Paulson Adebo.
Yeah.
Paulson Adebo, cornerback. Defensive back, I guess, is a difference.
Yeah.
Not just a nickel back anymore, a defensive back. So got 44 points last
That's
game.
what I'm saying.
His game log, 100% of the snaps since week 3, which is really good, what you want. And he's been sitting at 17 or no 21. He's like 21 defensive back in the season right now with 265 points, which is a lot of points
for a defensive back.
203
that's
points.
not a linebacker or
so
whatever. That's a defensive back putting up.
Defensive back. He has 200. And to put it in reference, he finished last season with 322 points. So he's moving up definitely in the ranks. And like I said, last game he had 44 points. He had 18 points a game for that, but he did have 53, 45, 23, and 20. So obviously he got his 200 points somewhere or another. But
he's someone that is emerging on the waiver wire that I think he's widely available in leagues, because in IDP leagues most players teams go linebacker, defensive lineman, going for those sacks and those tackles and those surefire points. So defensive backs are really like a rare, sparse gem commodity to have. And when you find one, you gotta grab them and get them because.
Well, to put into perspective, Pat Surtain has 67 points.
So he's not quite at that level yet, but.
Right.
He's hit my radar. So if I'm seeing him, not saying it's like, gold, but like he's someone worth, it's just the recipe for success. Short week, rookie quarterback.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, to put it into reference,
offense.
like him as a defensive back. I mean, Pat Surtain, his highest point total was 25 points. So this guy, Paul Adebo, has been going off, and he should definitely be on your radar. And actually, I'm looking at him like, dang, can I pick this guy up?
Do it.
Oh no, Mike has him. Carpenter. He's already on the team, obviously. But I mean, I'm pretty good with my defensive backs right now. But yeah, Grace, I don't know if you play any with any IDP, but I mean, it's no different from a defense. Just about 30 more points on a regular basis.
Just 30.
Honestly.
No, it's a different way to play it.
Yeah, it's a different way to play it, and it depends on what you have. So, like in my dynasty, we have a defensive back position. We have 2 linebacker positions. We have a defensive lineman position, and then we have an IDP, which is
it's like a flex for the defensive. Whenever you see IDP, it's just a flex version on the defensive side of the ball.
And I would just honestly, if I was in a league with it, I would just get pissed every week because he wouldn't give me enough point. I would just get pissed.
That's
Mine,
when I first
yeah.
started doing it. Like I started it last year, and I was like, I was missing all over the place. I'm like, well, that guy sucks, and then I drop him. He goes off the next week. The guy
Yeah,
picked
you
up.
can't be
Like,
chasing. You
oh,
can't be
okay.
chasing with them.
And
You
that's
gotta
all
rock
I
with
would
them.
do. As someone
Yeah.
who's so frequent, for every single week, I am just looking ahead at matchups for defenses.
Mhm.
I would be streaming an IDP
And
and make a
you can
mistake,
though.
and
You
I'd be
can though.
mad.
You
Well,
can
it's
though. It
helped
gives you
me.
more.
Yeah.
It gives you more players to choose from instead of just having the 32 defenses. Now you have
Yeah.
what, like, you know, you have like probably like, you know, at least in my league we just have linebackers, right? In my redraft, we just use linebackers, but still that's like probably 120 extra players, right? Because there's 2 linebackers.
It's a bigger pool, yeah.
It's a much larger pool than defense.
But there's a wider
normally.
range from a terrible linebacker and a superstar.
Totally.
Like that
But that's
point
why,
total.
like how Justin said, you're watching their snap count, so you want the ones that have 100% because
Yeah, you want them in
nothing
every single down.
a
But
chance to make something
if for
happen.
some reason I had all Sunday games, Monday night he has 1 player left, I'm up by 25 points, and a defensive player beats me.
This
Yeah.
happened.
Oh,
It's happened to me twice already.
Nah, I'm
You're
good.
probably yeah, if you're
I'm
about
good.
25
It
points,
adds
you're
a
not
whole
up
nother
and down.
level of frustration on Monday Night Miracles of like, yes, he got 40 points, I win, and then oh
Yeah.
shit, he dropped a 60 burger on me.
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
good.
Yep.
I don't have the cortisol would be too bad for me. I could not handle that.
It's
What's
a lot.
fun though,
It's
like
fun.
what I've been learning from doing it, it's got me watching the defensive side of the game a lot more. It's getting me to watch how the defenses line up, how the players are playing, different matchups, and it's cool. It's added another element of like watching football on Sundays rather than just looking at my wide receivers and running backs. Like I'm looking at the linebackers, how often they're playing, or who's playing good, who's got momentum, or who's dud. So
Yeah.
It's all right. Yesterday I was sport betting, and I was playing against Kincaid and had Kincaid as my sport bet. So I was like happy and like, oh,
That's
get
the
it and then
worst.
stop. But I came out. It's funny. I mean, I won pretty much almost no matter what. But it was funny.
Did he
rooting
outscore
for him.
Conklin?
Yes.
Damn, said.
Conklin only had like 4 points. Or
Yeah,
something
he
like
did not do well. So it was funny. I don't know. It was funny supporting both sides. I was like, well,
Yeah.
don't do too well, but do well enough for me.
that. Yeah, it's hard. That's the hard thing too about being in multiple leagues too,
I
right?
know.
I try to get like
Yeah.
the same players across the board, but you can't always. And then so sometimes you're like down to the wire, especially like those Monday
Yep.
night games, those Monday night games. And you're like, on one end, you could totally be like, yeah, let's go. I need this. I need you to pop off. And on the other end, you're like, so it's pretty much like, well, which one do I feel? I don't, can I afford to lose in more? I guess like
Yeah.
just do good, just do well, right? Like,
So
I
real
get
quick for that Monday night game at first week with the new coach, where are we at with Breece Hall? How are we feeling after last night's performance? Or like how he did? Are we like concerned? Are we hopeful? Or
well, now they got that
where's
trade,
the temperature
so
reading?
that
Like where
changes everything.
because you
too.
spent the first round, like he's one of your top 5 picks, obviously in the drafts. Like he's a Bijan, like you invested a lot in him. Like we're 7 weeks in. I mean, last week we saw with Bijan, he went off. He had a great game. Granted, it was against the Panthers defense, but we at least saw a ceiling game, whereas we haven't seen that with Breece yet this year. And I'm just kind of getting like a temperature check, like a water level check on him. Where are you guys feeling with him rest of the season?
I mean, I can answer this really easily for you.
Okay.
He's open for trade.
Yeah.
If someone wants him, if someone wants him, I'm more than happy to. I mean, if you ask me week 1, week 2, week 3, nope, no one's touching
Door
him.
shut. Okay.
Door shut, and I mean the door could not be more wide open.
Wow.
I think he has a great second half of the year for matchups. I think he's great for playoffs, but I fear his usage is not enough to justify the pick. Well, I mean, funny enough, I only have him in one league. He slid all the way down to 8th to me, and I grabbed him. Because I had full intentions of getting Amara St. Brown. That was my complete intention, was to get him, and then I was going to grab a running back in round 2, and Breece Hall slid and slid and slid, and I grabbed him, and I was like, let's go. But as much as he has a great matchup, I'm afraid of him. I'm afraid starting him. Like, he is not a sit and forget. He is a put in, and I need to like pay attention and
Is
make
he
sure.
still at the running back 1 or 2 level for you, or are you sliding him down to your flex? Like, you starting other running backs over him?
We need to see how Jonathan Taylor progresses this week. If he is supposed to be fully active and ready to go, Breece Hall will be my flex this week.
Wow, that's such a, from where like said where most people drafted him like that high, and then for him to like fall to like running back like top 20, 30 area,
right?
like that's
like,
crazy.
So are you starting Joe Mixon? Are you starting Breece Hall over Joe Mixon?
No,
right?
Because I trust that Joe Mixon has a floor. And
he's shown it. The 2 weeks he's been really healthy, he's balled out.
Correct. And I think there's potential for Breece Hall to get a single digit week. And
that hurts me.
I don't trust him as much as I would a lot of other running backs that would probably surprise you.
Okay.
So in redraft, you're probably
Kyren Williams. You starting Kyren Williams over Breece Hall?
Yep.
Yes. Especially this week.
100%. I think so far I'm seeing just one thing. The one thing that worried me the most about Williams going into this season was injury. Obviously he's kind of stood up a little bit better than I expected. If I'm honest,
he's put a lot of crow for people to eat at the beginning of the season. Like, he was a guy I was fading and drafting, and like, because I thought Blake Corum was going to be more of a thing, and it was going to be more of like a split, and it's like so weird. Whereas I thought Breece Hall was going to be the guy, Braylon Allen ain't going to be nothing, but like Kyren Williams is the guy. Blake Corum isn't nothing, and Breece Hall is doing the way he's doing, and Braylon Allen's being what Blake Corum was expected to be this year. It's just so it's weird how it works, especially where you drafted those guys.
100%.
I completely like flipped.
Yep, I completely agree. And honestly, if I had Williams this week, I'd throw him in and I'd be like, all right, sweet, let's go. But Breece Hall he's currently sat in my flex, and I am very nervous if I should keep him there. And funny enough, I mean, and that's the thing. If I'm afraid of starting him, and
I got one.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
I got one. Bijan Robinson or Breece Hall.
Bijan's playing Seattle. I just watched the Lions run all over the Seahawks. Like, I'm starting Bijan over.
If you're talking,
you saw Tyrone Tracy run over the Seahawks.
Yeah, I just hope they utilize him. But I think Bijan Robinson, I don't think he's had a single digit week. I don't believe so. But I mean, Breece Hall has had what, 2?
Breece Hall has like 2 more points than Bijan on the season, though. But you're correct. Bijan has not had a single digit week.
Unanimously across the board, what I've seen in all these NFL running back rooms, unanimously is this running back committee jargon or whatever they're throwing at us, they're doing is horrible for fantasy football. It's killing our running backs' values in fantasy football. Like,
I mean, it depends.
Every running back room that has like 2 viable running backs, it is just nerfing those.
Unless it's the Lions, right? Unless it's the Lions,
they have it figured out. They have it balanced enough. Like, it's crazy. Like, I as a Lions fan, I love it. For fantasy football, I'm frustrated because I want Gibbs to be at that next level.
Well, because you drafted Gibbs higher, right? That's the only reason.
Yeah,
that's the only reason. You still drafted those guys.
I'm super happy. Like, I honestly would start like the Monty Gibbs duo, like my running back 1 and 2 spot.
That's what I do.
Together, I'd be starting them over like a Bijan or a Breece right now, just solo. Like, if I had I'd feel more comfortable starting those 2 of my running backs than just having Bijan or just having Breece at the moment.
Aaron Jones is out. What the? Is he out?
Is that what it says?
It just says out on Sleeper. It doesn't say.
Oh yeah, and right now it says out on Sleeper because I I think he just did walkthroughs for practice. He didn't really put pads on or anything. He was out there. He just
If just a really quick example, if someone sent me Kyron Williams for Brees Hall, I would almost accept it. I mean, I would need to sit there and like in my mind, truly for my first round pick,
swap for swap, you would just go.
Well,
swap for swap,
would it
Kyron
take this?
Williams.
Would it take if they added Calvin Ridley to it, or like just a little bit more, like a little, like no?
He's
See,
like-
like that's what I say. That's why he's
see, here's
droppable.
the
Just
thing.
throw that man off a cliff.
I did this with Cedric. I did a 2. I was trying to do a 2-for-1 for him, but he would have had to drop someone.
Yeah.
And so I told him just send him to me and I'll drop him. And
In those scenarios, that's perfect, Grayson. Like if it comes to the point where someone that you're trading with comes back at you with, well, I have to drop somebody. Okay, this is somebody on my roster that's expendable to me. Is this something I could add to the deal where it balances out, where you're comfortable having on your roster to get this deal done?
And so I honestly rate Brees Hall really low right now. I know a lot of people.
That's so scary.
And that's the thing, and it's just truly. I know earlier I said like I don't like you said don't trust you. Like I try not to trust my gut. He just makes me nervous. Like starting him over some other options that luckily enough I'm just have a great running back room. But like right now I have 4 really good options, and I theoretically I can start 3 running backs and 1 in my flex. And
I have a couple for you that I've been battling myself with as options. Is like, out of these 3 guys, Eckler, Tracy, and Brown, would you start any combination of them over Brees in your flex this week?
You said Eckler,
Tracy, and Chase Brown.
Any one of them over
this week.
For this week.
For this week, I'm starting Tracy.
You over Brees Hall?
Yes. Tracy,
even with the possibility that Singletary coming back and
doesn't matter.
Carries?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
He's proved that it's his right now. So I feel like on that.
Or you think Dable will ride the hot hand and continue to give Tracy the ball and not cede it back to Singletary?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
I like the matchup for Chase Brown. I would this week. I would.
Yeah, I'm just looking under like a microscope, just for because we're feeling nervous after last week's game on Monday. Yesterday's game, Yeah. If
this week I would do Chase Brown over him because it makes me just feel a little more comfortable. Yes,
just a little. It's that little.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing is if Brees Hall for another week puts up another 15 plus points, I will feel much more comfortable. But the inconsistency he's had so far, and it's a huge inconsistency. It's either 20 points or literally 4. That's too big of a variety for me.
Right, exactly. I'm probably gonna go with that solid 10 points, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're on the same page because personally, at this point with Brees Hall, I am comfortable eating the 20 points on my bench from him if this happens this week, than knowing that I get like 12, 13 points from one of those other guys in my flex. Like,
completely agree.
I am 100%. Totally fine with that. I'll eat that 20 burger that he puts on my bench because after what I've seen up to this point, the inconsistency and just the lack of that number one explosiveness that we saw all last year with worse quarterback play. So, like, I'm fine eating like the 12, 13 points I get from either Tracy, Brown, or Eckler with potentially their guys come in. So
I completely agree.
Yeah, I hope that gives a little clarity out for the community of like if they're debating those questions of looking at it like, oh, I don't know. Like it just takes into context of like what we're seeing with our eyes, trying to help you guys set your lineups and make those tough questions.
Yo, so it's it's hard with stuff like that, especially with guys that you draft early because you have that pride of where you drafted them, though, right? But you got to look at the Cardinals, man. They drafted I don't even know, Josh Rosen, and then the next season they drafted Kyler Murray. So you can't be afraid to make those moves sometimes when you have to. I'm kind of learning that in life, even as I get older. Sometimes you just have to make a drastic change. Sometimes you have to, so it doesn't matter where it started or where it was from. You may have to move on from a player no matter. And then, you have to just live with it too, knowing that at least you don't have that frustration of will they or won't they, which is a bit more, nerve wracking, especially in fantasy football, I feel like, than
that's
knowing
my
what
every
you're gonna
Sunday
get
morning.
this
I'm
way.
just sitting there like, which spot am I willing to just eat if they go off on my bench, and which I'm comfortable having in my lineup and being like, all right, that was fine.
Yeah, honestly, well, I'm sitting here kind of looking at the team. Obviously, I think everyone has one team they care most about.
Yes, true.
And I'm just staring at that team right now. And honestly, truly, if Jonathan Taylor is fully healthy and going to be playing this week, Breece Hall is going to be on the bench. I would rather start Zay Flowers over him in my flex. I like the matchup a lot more, and I like the consistency that Zay Flowers has been showing.
That question.
Ooh, this is spicy.
No.
You're not trading Olave for Tank
No.
Dell? Even with the
Yeah.
fact that Tank Dell's number 2 right now?
That's one right now. It's wonderful. Unless you
say just, are we talking like right now, like under a
Right now, I
microscope
guess,
right now,
right?
not rest of season, or not like
Demon
long
Yo.
term?
Demon Yo. What are you talking right now? You talking right now? Is this redraft? I feel like it's a
redraft.
Right? So say it's redraft, right? Like right now, looking at the two teams with the quarterback issues over in New Orleans,
but Nico's coming back in a couple weeks, so we know what
in a
Nico
couple
does.
weeks, Nico's coming back, but at the same time,
Nico's
you're seeing what
alpha.
Tank's doing. Does that not mean that he can't still get like 5 to 7 targets a game and make something happen with them, which is still shaky, right? But I mean, is that still not as good as what Olave is getting on his iffy, 8 to 14 target? What is Olave? Let's see. Let me pull it up.
So regardless, Grayson, take it over. Let him know why you're not taking the deal.
So I mean, this one's going to be pretty easy for me, just because I care more about the end of the year. Olave has really only had one, just as an appearance, one really bad game that he did not.
Was this last one where he had negative points, right?
Correct. And then Tank Dell, I love him. I drafted him. I had super high expectations. The only way I see Tank Dell not going on my bench is if Diggs is hurt or if Collins is hurt. So I'm only trusting him if someone else is down. Olave, I trust. Okay. I mean, regardless, unless he's playing Surtain, then I don't. But other than that, I Tank Dell, there's too many additional things that has to happen for me to trust him on not like being on my team. And Olave, I would trust when he comes back to put him in my.
Because at the end of the day, Olave's their wide receiver 1. He's the alpha in that offense, and Tank Dell is a gadget like fill-in piece for the time being. For right now, I can't say he's not going to get up to a higher level, but as of right now, Tank Dell is a benefiting off a circumstance with Nico being out. But as soon as Nico comes back, he falls down that pecking order. Whereas once Olave comes back, he's right back where he was before he was hurt, and you should get that solid production. And he has good matchups rest of season.
Correct, and that's why I was so quick to say no. That's why I was so quick to say it.
I hope that helped you, Demon. Gave you a little context for the deal. I mean,
let me see. I got something here for it. There we go. Oh, it's so low. I got to turn it up. I forgot to turn it down. We don't have Shady on tonight. We can turn it up a little bit. No, whatever. There we go.
Well, it's not really deny. It's just, it.
Yeah. No.
Ooh, here we go.
Oh.
All right. So we got Augusto.
Talk about a loaded stable.
Augusto Keshesh.
Thanks, Augusto. Hello. Thanks you tuned in too.
Yeah. Running backs. Breece Hall, Alvin Kamara, Chase Brown, J.K. Dobbins, Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, who's coming back, right? Wide receivers, Drake London, Malik Neighbors, Chris Godwin, Michael Pittman, Deontay Johnson, Juju, Tight end, Brock Bowers, Hawkinson. What would you give for Lamb? I would give Hawkinson, Deontay Johnson, Juju.
You don't need to give up that much for Lamb right now.
No. If from when you were going through all that, truly, I mean, it depends on the. I will target my trades on what the other team needs, even if I'm giving up a little bit more. So truly, I mean, from those running backs right now, number one, I don't think you need CeeDee Lamb.
Not at all.
I wouldn't do the deal because you have an amazing room.
Yeah, I would be giving up probably 2 running backs.
If anything, I would just do London for Lamb straight up.
London for Lamb straight up. No, I'm keeping London.
I would do Breece Hall and probably I would try with Pittman if you wanted more. I would do Deontay Johnson and Hall.
Pittman and Johnson for Lamb?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I would do to get it done. Otherwise, like I was just saying, London only because if it's a straight 1-for-1. Because
if it's a 1-for-1, it's the only wide receiver that I think. But I don't know
because we don't know the context of the person he's trading with. It's just I'm just seeing from like ADP, like where you like all that's factored in of just like because what he would want back for he's given up his number 1 pick essentially. Yeah. So yeah.
I mean, I would almost I would do London more because I like Malik Neighbors a lot because he's really the only person they're going to throw to. Godwin, obviously, he is putting up all the points, and I would not.
He's going God mode.
Yeah, truly. Pittman isn't enough for a straight trade.
Yep.
So really, it'd be London or Malik Neighbors, and Neighbors is the only option that the Giants have. In London, you do have some other.
I'm not trading in London for.
But I don't think
you were ready to cast him off at the beginning of the year.
No, I wasn't. I was.
You're that man.
You're right. And I
at the beginning of the year,
I still picked him up. You see, I still picked him up in almost every league I could. So, something about him. I just, those Atlanta wide receivers, put him on
Seth's most wanted list of like
those Atlanta wide receivers. I tell you what, you cannot count out an Atlanta wide receiver. That's one thing they know. For sure.
Oh, except Neighbors and Pollard for Breece Hall. Move them.
Where's the smash button? You can just smash that button.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, right.
I love
the way Pollard's running.
I love Pollard. I love Malik Neighbors. You still
you had me at Neighbors because I probably would do Neighbors for Breece straight up, and I probably would do Neighbors like.
Yeah. I would push
because it would probably take Neighbors and Pollard. Yeah. I would do that deal. All right, go hit that button. If that was sent to you, hit that button. If you're sending it,
do it.
Hope.
Let's see.
Yeah, you'd hope.
Something for that. Let's see.
Yeah, exactly.
Lil John agrees with this. Grayson, I know you said you had, was it your boomers and busters?
Are we capping off the night? We're going to hit him with the final segment?
Yeah. What do you got for us there?
Oh, I did not, if I'm honest with you, I received that text. I didn't know I was supposed to be the one asking.
No, you're good. You're good. Well, hey, I got some players then. Let me get some players. I got some right here.
My bad.
And
didn't know that.
It's all good. It's all good. It
works out. Let's see then. I got some people right here then. Russell Wilson.
Bust.
Boom or bust?
Bust.
Bust?
So fast.
All right. They got Tyreek at 13 something. Boom or bust? Oh, yeah. That's what I'll do. I'll pull up projections. There we go. Hold on.
That's what I'll do. Projections.
Yeah.
Tyreek, boom or bust?
He's set at 13. Or here, I'll get his exact number.
I got one for you. This might be a little bit tougher. Definitely juicier. Going up against that Ravens defense Monday night.
Ooh.
Mike Evans, boom or bust?
Especially after last week where he busted. What do you think he's gonna do?
Yeah.
Before
that, he boomed.
Yeah, coming from a Mike Evans owner, I don't want to say any names. I'm just saying I would I'm sure they'd like to know
Oh,
what you think about Mike Evans this week coming up.
because this is probably a guy you're depending on a Monday Night Miracle from.
As a previous Evans owner, I
Mm-hmm.
think it's going to be a boom. I think so.
Okay.
I think he
did have two
Ride that
busts in a
wave, Ced.
row.
Ride
He
that
did
wave.
have two busts in a row in weeks 2 and 3. So I mean, I'm riding that wave. Actually, I mean, I'm probably gonna throw him in
What
my
are the
flex.
Buccaneers going to have to do to win that game? Throw the ball. I think he's going to boom as well.
Here we go. Tank Dell, boom or bust.
Ooh. Against the Packers defense in Lambeau?
bust. I think there's two that the defense is too strong, and I think in Lambeau is hard. I think also Jordan Love is really
The Cardinals
controlled.
found out about it last week, how hard it is to play in Lambeau.
Yeah. Also,
Okay.
Jordan Love is controlling the games really
Mhm.
well. He's not letting the other offense on the field a lot. So I don't see between the target share that Tank Dell will get, I don't see him. I see him busting more personally.
Okay. All right.
I don't know what he did last week, but one more. I just want to do one more because I like wide receivers.
Yeah.
I've been, from what I hear from the 2 times you've been on, for the players you like and have and whatever. DK Metcalf, boom or bust this week.
Ooh. He had a tough week last week.
But the week before that, he ate.
I'm not
Against
a
the
huge
Falcons
fan
at
of
home.
him. I know. It's an interesting matchup. I say after personally, honestly, I think it's because I think he probably complained that he did not get enough receptions and targets that he's going to boom because he complained so much. They're going to target him.
And that's a man where you see that man of that size yelling at you on the sidelines, be like, "Give me the effing ball!" Like, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
I don't
sir.
know if you saw the clip of him
I
yelling
saw
at the
it.
offensive coordinator. He's gonna boom in my opinion.
I had
He's
this
gonna
one
boom.
already. When I saw that clip and I heard you're gonna have this segment, I'm like, I got 2 players that I want to throw up there for you to hear what you think for boom or bust. So we got 2 booms said.
Okay.
Mike Evans and DK. Fire
there we go. Firing up Mike Evans. Kareem Hunt coming off that bye week.
Ooh.
Solidified as running back 1 right now over in Kansas City. Boom or bust. Projected at 14 points against San Francisco.
I'm saying bust softly, and I say that because the Niners defense has been disappointing. And I don't know why. I kind of got a feeling that I think they may step up this week and be like, all right, like this, we can't be doing that. I think
I
they're
could
gonna
see a world this weekend where Fred Warner's like, "Nah, Kareem, you ain't getting in between the tackles. You're not getting through these holes."
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my personal opinion. I think they're gonna tighten up a lot this week, especially for a team notoriously to have a phenomenal defense. I think they're gonna tighten up this week.
Okay. So we got bust for Kareem Hunt. Go ahead.
Boom or bust, Javonte Williams said.
J-Mo?
Javonte Williams.
That's what I said. I thought you said.
No, sorry, yeah.
I thought you said
No, his boy.
Williams.
The other.
Javonte Williams, boom or bust? I'm gonna go boom.
Oh, okay.
Right, because he kind of slid off last week. He fell off a little bit, and he knows he needs to pick it up because they're nipping at his heels and they're trying to get him out the door. So I think he's gonna run for his life this Thursday night.
I'm glad to hear you're believing in your guys. That's good.
I'm
positivity.
I am believing in these Broncos because that's all I got right now, man. The Nuggets are slopping it up in preseason. I haven't even checked out the Avalanche, so
Oh, they're not looking good. Said I've been watching the hockey games.
So I'm believing. You know, Rockies gave up a long time ago, so that's the only sports I got that's looking decent right now. So
Rockies are barely a baseball team,
right? They got the Banana League is coming out here.
Oh, the
seriously?
Savannah Bananas. Let's
yeah.
You
go.
gotta go to that game.
I know. So that's the goal. Hey, maybe I'll go out there and try to get some, some coverage for the show and stuff.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Right? Get some footage from there or something. I don't know. Figure it out, but it looks fun. I'm gonna see if I can get tickets. If anybody out there wants to, send some tickets for us, we will gladly go.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
in Denver. I'm in Denver too.
Right, exactly.
Just
Right.
so we
So
all
great.
know.
Yeah, just throw it out
Go.
there.
Right. Yeah.
Just in
So
case you wanted to know.
just letting you guys know, we're down if we can make it to go to any sports events for sure. And we will talk about it on the show.
For sure.
We'll bring it back and talk about it on the bandwagon. So whatever it is, it doesn't have to be, super big. I mean, I'm going to see the Colorado Spartans. They're going to try to make it to their game now. They moved down to the Denver arena. So they're probably
cool.
20, 25 minutes from me. So a little bit closer so I can go see them. So we're all about it around here, especially at the network. That's our goal, to give the voice to those guys that don't have that major production, that major marketing, that major networking team. So we'll be your team. We'll be your marketing team. Check us out, man. I'm telling you, we got scouts, we got, we got coaches, we got players, all types of individuals over here at Shady Sports Network. So check us out, guys. Keep rocking with us, and thank you for the support. All you guys that have been liking, thank you. Keep it going. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to subscribe and catch us again. We'll be back on Tuesday or Sunday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and then next Tuesday too to talk about it. So we review it, then we preview it, then we review it, right? So
yes, sir.
That's the goal, and just to keep this fantasy game going. LARPing, as they would say, right? Oh, wait, is that different? I don't know.
I think you're mixing things up.
Oh no, but I did tag Derrick Henry on my post on Facebook. I was hoping, I'm sure he's not gonna respond, but yeah. Shout out King Henry, man. If you do happen to be listening, love you, bro. But yeah, no. I guess.
Before we get out of here,
yeah.
I saw your post on the Facebook group. How you feeling about your boy Tim Patrick balling out for the Lions this weekend?
I know it's crazy, man. Especially seeing. Well, our receivers haven't been doing too bad. Vele was.
He looked pretty good this Sunday. He looked like he should have had a roster spot for the Broncos.
Exactly. Oh, Tim Patrick. Yeah. Well, of course he should have, right? It was just a matter of semantics, and they said it. They had to keep the spot open for.
Hey, we'll take good care of him for you. We'll take good care of him.
Exactly, and then he'll be back. And we probably won't be back. It's probably better.
We keeping him
somewhere. Yeah, let him go somewhere and ball out, right? And then hopefully he can get a deal on another team for a couple more years. He deserves it. It's good to see.
Oh, absolutely. After those two devastating injuries,
yeah. And before he was balling out, right? He was.
I had him in fantasy. I had him in my flex spot. He was doing great.
He was DK Metcalf, right? Just a little smaller, right? As far as running routes and being tall. Nah, but no, he was definitely a secret route runner. He was Mr. Dependable. He was like DK in a sense. He was Mr. Dependable, is what I was saying. You guys didn't let me finish, so I was trying to get to it.
Sorry, during a comedy show, people normally laugh.
Hey, I was thinking, as I move into, my 40s, I might as well go for comedy, right?
Hell yeah.
No, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's good to see him balling out for sure. And it's good that he's in a place where he has a chance to not only ball out, but not be dependent on. So if he doesn't necessarily ball out, it's okay. No.
It almost feels like to me, he's filling the Josh Reynolds role. Like Josh Reynolds and Tim Patrick just switched teams.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, that is crazy. They pretty much did, right? They're both doing a little bit better for the new team. Respectively.
Yeah, Josh Reynolds needs to get healthy, get that finger fixed.
Yeah. But I think, like I said, the rookie wide receivers for the Broncos are looking good. Hopefully Franklin can get up to speed too. I don't know, it's hit or miss with the Broncos. I'm not dependent on those guys. So even though I'm watching them, I'm not watching them like that, quite honestly, because I don't have them on my fantasy team. So I'm just watching the game and enjoying
Not
it
yet, at least.
So I can talk trash, and I turn it off halfway through the game if they're losing. So. Yeah, but but before we get out of here, you guys got anything for these guys?
Yeah, I'll just say I'm thankful for everybody who commented tonight with their questions and their comments and just adding to the chat, bringing the spice, that flavor to the show tonight. I appreciate everybody who contributed. That's so awesome. Now, if they could share, like, and subscribe it'd be great. keep this thing growing. And then Grayson, I'm happy you came back. We didn't scare you away. You joined us. We're happy to keep having you on the show whenever you want to come on.
Yeah, I was probably a little lower energy. Today was a long day.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're good.
I'm not, I'm ready for tomorrow. That's all I'll say. We'll go. It's going to be one.
Have fun. I'll be there 10 a.m. I'll be there. So, and I can show you exactly why my day was long.
Cool. Well,
tomorrow's Hump Day. So
thank you for helping me there. Thank you for having me again. Thank you everyone who commented. The questions are great. I obviously didn't know I had my own segment that I was supposed to run, but now I know.
And it's cool. I like it. I like asking.
Yeah, I love it, too. And I love that we finish off. I want to go out on a boom. If we could have that, like at the not that
let's see,
more or less, but like just capping it off, put a big boom at the end of the show.
Devonta Smith.
What?
Boom or bust? Is that what you're asking? Are you trying to get a player for a boom?
No, I'm just saying, having this segment, get it in there. It feels good having it like be the cap off, the nightcap of the show, and like the big exclamation point.
Totally. Yep. It comes back to it and like brings everything kind of back together too, because a lot of these players are the same players we've been touching on throughout the segment too. So yeah, and then you guys out there, thank you for your comments, thank you for your questions. Don't forget to always get them in. Go join us on
and
Facebook.
For those of you guys who did comment and whatnot, let us know how those trades went for you. If they went through, send it over to us in the Facebook group chat, and we can, we'd love to see the follow through of it and see where it went.
Or on the YouTube chat, or on the Twitch.
Oh chat. Yeah, YouTube chat.
We'll figure out how to. I'll find those places. Who knows? We probably have so many comments out there on Twitch that I've just never seen because I've never been on there. But we're always streaming.
I gotta be better about that too, Ced.
Wait, you know what? We're learning, man, and we're getting it there, and we're I think we're doing a pretty darn good job so far. From especially even from where it was when you just came around, Justin. Even last season. I don't even think I made it this far into the season with the show.
Oh, you didn't? I think
it
was like several episodes. Like it went to like what 10, 11?
Sparingly, like I think I was like super, super, super sparingly throughout the season. So I'm just happy that it's been consistent since the season started. We've been on track, and it would be cool, go back and look at the rankings from our super early rankings.
Oh man,
not a lot has changed. I mean, quite honestly, I don't think so. I mean, injury.
It hurt to see my Brees. I had Brees 1 everywhere, just to look at it now. Just
even that top 3, running back trio, right? How that turned out, and that's how it goes with running backs. I don't know why people go after those guys when every year with the running backs at least.
Well, some
the top
people are
3
believers.
running backs are gonna. Yeah, you can't be. You screw those guys. Get the ones right below them. You always be good. So there we go. So I'm gonna guys, we're gonna go ahead and end it. Thank you guys for joining in. Thank you for the love, thank you for the likes. Don't forget to share it out again. As I will say, it doesn't take anything but a couple seconds to press share and get it out and bring a friend on. We want to get 100 people in this chat room with us before the end of the season. The comments just flying off to where we're missing them. People get mad we're missing them. So
we won't miss them if we don't get them here. I'll through with you on other platforms.
Yep, we're here, and then like you said, bring it over to the Facebook group, or keep it on the platform you're on. If you don't have Facebook, it's okay. But other than that, guys, catch us again. We'll be back again on Sunday night at 7 p.m. And if you're itching to see me, you can see me Sunday morning. I'll be on at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on the pregame show on Sunday. So Sunday, come back to Shady Sports. We got you. But we got you every day of the week, I promise you. So Shady Sports Network is where you can find us. At 303 Bandwagon is where you can find me. At Testjaria, on Sleeper and Discord is where you can find Justin. And then Grayson, what is your at? I gotta see that. What does that say?
It's
cut me out.
Narlinger.
G Narlinger, GNARLINGER.
There we go.
That is me on everything: Facebook,
Yes.
Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat.
Gotcha.
Everything.
Okay. So I kind of did the same thing with mine too. I just made it universal, so it's because before it was harder trying to manage it all. I just put it under one one roof.
Yep,
Yeah,
and
that
that's
is
what I'm
also
trying to do with the
Discord as well.
303 bandwagon too. Like,
Yeah.
that's just guys. So you can hit us up, and then Shawnee, you can always hit him up too. So we got you. Hit us up in the Facebook group. We're shooting questions in there. I try to throw up memes. I try to throw up information throughout the week.
Hell
as well,
yeah.
too. And just keep it updated. I mean, that's our goal, is just to keep you guys up on your team so you know what you're doing. And if you don't, have somewhere to go, you can always come to us, and I promise we'll give you good information, or at least help you find good information. So, if nothing else, it's been real. It's been fun, guys. It's been a pleasure. Anything else from you guys?
Nope. I just want to say good night, everybody.
There
See
we
you,
go.
everyone.
I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer.